Now, there's a bit of a geek check. What's the font? What's the font? Star Wars. And who would talk like that? Yoda. The theorem Pythagorean, must you know. I could have done it in Wookiee. But that's hard to type. Yeah. Do I have ketchup? No, I don't have ketchup. But I have hot sauce. It's from Chile. It's really good. It's my favorite hot sauce in the world. It's actually from Chile. From Chile, yes. One day, not today, I will tell you the story of this hot sauce. Meanwhile, I will grace you with allowing you to use a few drops of my hot sauce that has come from the other side of the world.
Okay, thanks.
It is my favorite hot sauce in the world. I have a big, long story about it. Today is not the day. And all of you are like, maybe he'll tell us another day. No, you won't. You don't care if I tell you the hot sauce story. But one day I will. It's a bit of an acquired taste, Bear. I'll just put a drop near where you're eating and try it first. Some people love it, some people don't. I, of course, do, as I have searched the world over to try and get it in Abbotsford instead of having to go to Chile. No go?
It's hot.
It's not that hot. It's totally up to you. Apparently, Beryl finds it very hot. Have some yogurt. That will help.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yucky spoon.
I'll just
Use your fork. But it's just been in the hot sauce, you crazy woman. All right. If you don't like it, that's okay. It's nothing personal. I don't take it personally. Oh, yeah. You're giving it another chance. I like that. Well done. Okay. Back to math. Somebody tell me, do not give me an example. Do not tell me which of these three it is. Tell me in English words, what is the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle? Man, I like that definition. That's usually not what I get first, so you screwed up all my material. Normally, the first person says the longest side, which is really great if the sides have measurements. Does that triangle have measurements? Can you in any way guarantee me that that is the longest side? How? Okay. But, you would still need to measure it. Uh-huh. Okay. So what if I draw this? Sure it is. It's got the symbol. It's just drawn in perspective. Uh-huh. Why? That's what I'm going for. It looks the longest. Okay? Until I give you this. 90 degree. How long's that? Somebody always says 2. It's not. What is it? It's not 1. See? What is it? It's the square root of 2. Right? Okay. The reason I do all that is not to make anybody feel bad. It is so I can tell you a story about my grade 7 teacher. It's not really the reason I do this, but I am going to tell you a story about my grade 7 teacher. The hypotenuse ends up being, as Rachel and Case said, the longest side. Absolutely, 100%. It always ends up being the longest side. The problem is drawings can be made to be misleading. Or drawings can only exist in 2 dimensions, and the world exists in 3. Okay? So that's why I like your definition better, because that always works. Okay? So, the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. Now, it's another thing that, your teachers have said in the past, it's opposite. But I need to remind you guys of something. The word opposite in this unit means across. And I'm going to say it 1 billion times. and kids are still going to screw it up. Opposite means across in this unit, okay? It doesn't matter where the triangle is situated. It doesn't matter whether it's upside down, right side up. Who even decides what's upside down, right side up? Opposite means across. So that means this 90 degree, you go across the shape and you get to the hypotenuse. You all already know that. But I need to be sure that you really know that. Because no matter what I do to this triangle, the hypotenuse is always across from the 90 degrees. Even if it doesn't look like it's a 90 degree. Cool? Okay. And the legs are, of course, the other guys. Like that great movie with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. The other guys are the other two. Okay? They are interchangeable. Now, I know for a fact that every single one of you was taught a squared, b squared, c squared, right? Every single one of you. Now, I found out today from my previous class that that was the extent of Pythagoras. Like your grade 6, 7, whoever it was teacher that started you on Pythagoras showed you that and said, go, and that was it. I don't know if that was your case, but I would like to point out how that came to be. And you can draw this if you want, you don't have to. I'm going to use Case's example of the 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 90 degrees, and then this hypotenuse here. What happened back in the day was they noticed that if I make this square 4 by 4, and I make this square 3 by 3, I get 9 and 16, yes? And then I make this square, they noticed that this square and this square will fill up this square, okay? Because this is 16, 4 by 4, and then there's 9 spots left over. It was done for construction purposes. Some of my previous class had never seen the relationship between the actual squares. Now, when I started drawing that, Christina said, oh yeah. So apparently she had a teacher somewhere along the line that actually did the squares. Maybe they got one of those pegboards with nails in it and you got elastic bands. Maybe you did that move, which is cool. I dig that move, but we have no pegboards nor elastic bands. So you're stuck with my crappy drawing of a pegboard and elastic bands. But that's where it came from. Cool? Now, the reason I bring my attention to this is because if you learned it this way, then if I do something mean like this, C, B, A, if you don't actually understand Pythagoras and I use wrong letters to mess with your head, some of you will get this question wrong because you will simply follow the formula. You will put A in there when A is really the hypotenuse. Do you see what I am saying? This is what it comes down to. This is the danger, just like we had in the first unit, of memorizing a formula as opposed to as opposed to learning a concept, right? Height of the cylinder. Now what's the height of the cylinder? Technically it's here, but that we've already said is the diameter, right? So that's why I go out of my way to make sure that you are aware that a squared plus b squared equals c squared is what we teach you. Well, not we, because I don't like to, but other people have taught that. But if you memorize that, you're in trouble. So the way I remember it is leg 1 squared plus leg 2 squared gets me my hypotenuse squared. Then it doesn't matter what they're called. Doesn't matter if it's ABC, doesn't matter if it's fish, $, lightning bolt, doesn't matter. Everybody cool? So how would we solve this? Of course, you already know because you've gotten out of grade 6. You would say x There's two ways to do it. Most of you in grade 6, if I asked you to show me the work, probably would do this. 8 squared plus 15 squared would equal x squared. Then you would do that. 64 plus 225 would equal x squared. Then you would get 289 equals x squared. Then you would square root and get x equals 17. I'm betting. Oh, hey, how's it going? No problem. Please do. Everyone's cool with that, yeah? Right? Now, I'd like to go a step further with that because in grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, even grade 9, that was the end of a Pythagoras question, wasn't it? Right? In grade 10, Pythagoras is the very, very beginning of trigonometry. So I like to say I want to look at that and recognize in my head that x equals the square root of 8 squared plus 15 squared and do it all in one go. Is everyone okay with that? Cool? Okay. And then we all should be able to punch that into our calculator. Is everybody able to do so? Try it with your calculator right now. Some of you are going to need brackets. Most likely you're going to need to push the square root button, bracket, 8, then probably an x squared button, plus 15 and an x squared button, close brackets, then equals. But let's make sure we can all get 17 on our calculator. Yeah? Everyone's cool? Pardon me? Sure, because I think I know who's... You found it in here? Yeah, I know whose that is. A shoe? As a single shoe? Oh, a sheet. You would be surprised. You would be surprised at how many times I've taken a shoe for a calculator and sat there and watched the kid walk out, minus a shoe. And come back, out of breath, 1 second before the next, oh my God, I left my shoe here. No. Now, when I say give me your phone instead of a calculator, no kid has ever left, not even once. But they'll walk out without a shoe. But if I take away their phone, oh my God, I don't have my phone. But no shoe, no problem. See you later. Where was your next class? The gym. But you guys aren't addicted to your phones. You can live without them. I know you can, because you're stronger than that. So what's this one? Same thing? No, what's different? Yeah, it's a subtraction one. So this one is going to be x squared equals the square root of what? 12 squared minus 8 squared. Right? And you can all do that with your calculator, and I don't remember what you get. 12 squared is 144, 8 squared is 64, so it's square root of 60. I lie, square root of 80. And then you would do that, right? Everyone cool? Pythagoras is your friend, yes? Okay, now, here's where you are going to show me what you know. Tell me what x is. I will wait about 30 seconds. You don't even have to do it. Just get a process in your head. What do you think you would do to tell me what x is? I'll wait 30 seconds and I'll ask if anybody wishes to volunteer their attempt. And then I'll be sad because everyone's going to say, no, I don't want to. Then I'll cry in my Cheerios. Which is purely ironic because they're Cheerios and I'm crying in them. Especially if it's the honey nut with that happy little bee on it. I love that little guy. Huh? Okay. That's enough time? Was anybody able to tell me what x is? Please put your hand up if you have an answer or you have a method that you would wish to use to solve it. Either one. If you didn't have enough time to actually solve it, Put your hand up if you have a method. Bronwyn, what was your method?
Did you find the big triangle?
The big triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and I assume that to be this one. Okay. How? How? What do you mean, what do I mean? What does Pythagoras work with? Right angle triangles. Is that green triangle a right angle triangle? Nope. Anybody got another method?
20 centimeters is on the other side too?
You're saying that this is 20 centimeters. Why? How do you know it's an isosceles triangle? It looks like it. It looks like this rocket's going to get to the moon, so let's just get in it and fly, right? Whoa, man! You're going to fly this rocket straight into the sun! No. I'll ask again. Can you do this? Christina, what's your method? So you cut that in half, great. Oh, okay. Are you allowed to do that? Because if I gave you this triangle and you dropped that down and made it 90 degree, then this is going to be cut in half, isn't it? Is it? Okay. You have all watched, I'll get to everybody's hands, just wait a sec. You have all watched your very intelligent compatriots come up with 3 different methods to do this, all of which I shot down. What's yours? Flip what? I'm trying to visualize what you are saying, Victoria. Put it up. Oh, so we've got just rotate it this way. What is wrong with that, Sam?
I don't know what's wrong with it, but I know how to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Shouldn't in all triangles, all the sides should equal up to 90?
All the
Sides?
angles
Angles. Oh,
add up to 180.
yeah.
Do I have any angles here?
No.
Nope. Victoria, what is wrong with what you did is you still have no proof that that is a 90-degree angle. Understand? Now, the point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is this question, as it is impossible. How many of you, right now it's impossible. By the end of this unit, you'll be able to do this, no problem. But right now, this is impossible. But how many of you assumed you could do it? Based on what? That this was a 90-degree triangle. Are you allowed to do that in math class? Are you allowed to do it in physics class? Are you allowed to do it in chemistry class? Are you allowed to work on assumptions in any of your classes, like math, science, math, chemistry, physics, anything like that? What do you got to work on? What you know. Now, if I put that 90-degreeer there, then everyone can do it, can't they? Or if I put this here, then everyone can do it, can't they? Or if I put this here, then everyone can do it, can't they? Because that proves it's isosceles, so that proves that's 20. Is everybody with me? Don't assume ever. All right? So now that's 90. Now, of course, you can solve that in 2 seconds, can't you? And the bell is about to ring. Well, you're gonna actually solve them for homework. I know, right? What about this one? Can you do this one right now? You could if this hypotenuse is 25, then could you not split it and do it? Right? So you got it. Figure out, does B work or do you need more information? That's your only homework tonight. Listen to me, because the bell's going to ring and you're all going to try and leave and you're going to not hear what I'm about to say, even though I'm recording it and it'll be on YouTube. Let me see your notes package I just gave you. Oh, you guys don't have it. It's in the other book. You're off the hook. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you, after your test, I'm going to give you some work on Pythagoras to do to fill up the rest of tomorrow's period. Understand? Test tomorrow. Good luck.
The hot sauce is pretty good.
Isn't it delicious?